And we are live. Greetings, everybody. Welcome to the Mother Earth's Last Dance show. This is my third episode. I am your host, Elijah. I thank you so much for being here. Thank you for joining me. If you're watching this video at a later date, welcome. I hope that some of you can join me on this live broadcast. We have a wonderful show here today planned for you. Before we begin, I just wanted to say some heartfelt things because, we are in some troubling times, and I know that all of us at some point inevitably feel some sort of anxiety and stress with things that are going on in the world. Things are crazy. And things are going to continue to get crazy. So I just want you to know that you're not alone, that we are in this boat together. And us Mother Earth warriors, those who can see past all the deceptions, all the lies, all the traps, all the illusions of this matrix, that we are in this together. And we will go and create a beautiful world, even though most of our brothers and sisters do not want to join us in this beautiful world. So if you feel yourself getting stressed out at all, I encourage you just to take a step back in whatever you're doing, wherever you are, whatever your particular circumstances are. Take a step back and look at all the things that you can control. Because we all need to realize that there is just so much that is outside of our control. And when we start to take on all the burdens of the world, it gets overwhelming. And I know that personally. When you know so much about the inner workings of this world and how people are just blindly following this global agenda, leading us all to the slaughter, right? And it can be disheartening, but I want you to know that in the end, everything is going to be okay, and there's nothing that we cannot overcome together. We don't need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. And I know from my own personal experience that is something that I do. That I carry the weight of the world on my shoulders. The more truth you know, the more things that you know, the harder it is to live in this world. And you have to walk between two worlds because your friends and family don't know the information you do about the real nature of this reality, about this matrix. And we all still have to have jobs, and we still have to be a part of this world in some way. We all need money, unfortunately. So just take a step back and only do things that are under your control. Micro solutions. So I want you to know that if you're watching this, I love you. You're beautiful just the way that you are. And you're here in this world for a reason. And I welcome you so much here on this show. Thank you for being here. So let's get on with the show, shall we? So I just want to let you guys know, at any point during this live show or at any time, you can visit this link down here, streamelements.com/unitingunbound/tip. Go to that link. The link is also in the description of this video, and you can submit a comment or a question that will guaranteed to be answered at the end of this show. So not only will you have your voice heard and we could form some sort of a community, but you'll also be supporting this show at the same time. To let you guys all know, I fully intend on doing this show Monday through Friday. Currently, my schedule is I'm doing this show at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's just what works best for me right now. It's always subject to change depending on the audience, depending on my own schedule. and we'll see where things go. So anyway, visit that link at any time, and I would really appreciate having a sense of community here. So let me let you know. Well, actually, before we get into the show, I've got to read a poem. That's how we're going to start the show off every single day. So let's get into today's poem, which is actually very relevant to today's topic. Today's poem is The Spider and the Fly by Mary Howitt. "Will you walk into my parlor?" said the spider to the fly. "'Tis the prettiest little parlor that ever you may spy. The way into my parlor is up a winding stair, and I have many curious things to show when you are there." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "to ask me is in vain, for who goes up your winding stair can ne'er come down again." "I'm sure you must be weary, dear, with soaring up so high." "Well, you rest upon my little bed?" said the spider to the fly. "There are pretty curtains drawn around, the sheets are fine and thin, and if you like to rest a while, I'll snugly tuck you in." "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "for I've often heard it said, they never, never wake again who sleep upon your bed." Said the cunning spider to the fly, "Dear friend, what can I do to prove the warm affection I've always felt for you? I have within my pantry good store of all that's nice. I'm sure you're very welcome. Will you please to take a slice?" "Oh, no, no," said the little fly, "kind sir, that cannot be. I've heard what's in your pantry, and I do not wish to see." "Sweet creature," said the spider, "you're witty and you are wise. How handsome are your gauzy wings, how brilliant are your eyes. I have a little looking glass upon my parlor shelf. If you'd step in one moment, dear, you shall behold yourself." "I thank you, gentle sir," she said, "for what you're pleased to say, and, bidding you good morning now, I'll call another day." The spider turned him round and went into his den, for well he knew the silly fly would soon come back again. So he wove a subtle web in a little corner lie, and set his table ready to dine upon the fly. Then came out to his door again, and merrily did sing, "Come hither, hither, pretty fly, with pearl and silver wing. Your robes are green and purple, there's a crest upon your head. Your eyes are like diamond bright, but mine are dull as lead." Alas, alas, how very soon this silly little fly, hearing his wily, flattering words, came slowly flitting by. With buzzing wings she hung aloft, then nearer and nearer grew, thinking only of her brilliant eyes and green and purple hue, thinking only of her crested head. Poor, foolish thing! At last, up jumping the cunning spider and fiercely held her fast, he dragged her up his winding stair into the dismal den, within his little parlor, but she'll never come out again. And now, dear little children who may this story read, to idle, silly flattering words I pray you'll never give heed, unto an evil counselor close heart and ear and eye, and take a lesson from this tale of the spider and the fly. What do you think, folks? What do you think? When you read that poem, when you hear that poem, what comes to your mind? It's a trap. It is a trap. All right? Don't fall for the trap the spider is laying out to you. All right? Don't believe what the spider is telling you. The spider is going to do what the spider is going to do. That is what the spider does. Do not listen to the spider. And that is very relevant for today's topic. So to let you guys all know that I choose one topic to talk about on this show every single day. And I run this topic through 3 different perspectives: natural law, altruism, and traditional ecological knowledge. If you're not familiar with these subjects, I'll briefly describe what they are as the show goes on, but I encourage you to look into these subjects further, and we could get into that as well. So how do we choose a topic? Well, currently I'm choosing my own topics as I build up an audience, but it is you who can choose topics for future shows, and at any point You can choose a topic for a show by going to this link. Visit unitingunbound.com/show. When you get to that page, you'll see a little form. Just fill it out. It's free. And maybe I will use your topic for a future show. And that's how we're going to keep this show going, so we could form a community. There's always a plethora of topics we can talk about. We can always revisit topics. But the point is, we're here, we are now, and we have much to discuss. So I thank you so much for being here. All right. So what is today's topic? Today's topic is, what are your thoughts about Donald Trump, and why are his supporters acting so cult-like? It seems that people are falling for a great deception, as if they are running a script within their minds. Even people within the so-called truth community are falling prey to this trap, seemingly wiping away any spiritual progress they have made over the years. Why would you support somebody who has no connection to Mother Earth? And what does this say about the overall plot by dark occultists to divide and conquer people? Sure, the radical left are just as evil, but it isn't difficult to see how the master puppeteers are playing both sides against one another to get people riled up enough to fall into this mind control programming. Yes, this is the topic for the day. And it is an important one. It is a pertinent one for where we are right now. So, if you're coming to the show and you're a Trump supporter, what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm likewise going to say, if you are a Biden supporter, what are you doing? All right? Why do you want a slave master? Why do you want a savior? Why do you want people controlling your life? We do not need rulers or masters. We need to learn the art of self-governance, because that is what it means to be sovereign. So let me just get it out of the way right now, folks. I am not a Biden supporter. I know the topic of this show is revolving around Donald Trump. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I don't put myself in these little boxes. I will not pander to primitive, polluted consciousness. That is not why I'm here in this world. I am here to be with my fellow Mother Earth warriors as we stick it out as best we can amongst these morons walking around this world, so we can finally get out of this world as it all crumbles and we go our own way. And let me tell you, we are. I do not support politics in the least bit, because I know what natural law is. I own my body and mind. You own your body and mind. We can do whatever we want in this world as long as our actions do not hurt another sentient being or infringe on their rights. I am an anarchist, a true anarchist. Anarchy does not mean chaos. Anarchy simply means, when you break it down etymologically, it means no rulers or no masters. Doesn't mean chaos. Doesn't mean do whatever you want, disregarding rules. It's okay to have rules in place in society. You understand this? It's when you have people who have special rights that you do not have, that is where the issue lies. All right? All right, now if you're a Trump supporter and you're coming to this video, I'm sure you're just fuming. You're just waiting to see what comes out of my mouth. This guy, what is he, a communist? Is he a socialist? Is he a Biden supporter? Can you not see what I see? I'm just not operating on kindergarten level consciousness. How about that? All right, I'm not interested in pandering to Trump supporters. Get out of here. You're not welcome, and you're not welcome in the next world. And yes, I can say that definitively. You're not welcome to come into the next world where we're going to honor Mother Earth. And all the Q followers, oh, what a bunch of morons. You fools. You got fooled, and you're continuing to get fooled. Yes, you are. You're like in this poem, you're like the flies getting caught in the spider's web because there is a trap being laid out. Now, before we dissect this topic, I want to further elucidate where I am here. I am not coming from a place of speculation. I am not coming from a place of theorizing when it comes to this. And this comes with humility. I don't know everything, and I'm not going to presume to know everything. I'm not going to talk down to you. But when it comes to this topic, I know. Because you know what? I know Donald Trump personally. You heard that right. I know him personally. I'm not going to tell you how or why. I'm not going there. I'm not going to share those details. So you can either take my word and listen to what I have to say here or not. I don't care either way. I don't have to prove myself to anybody because I know I'm telling the truth. I know my own experiences. I know who he is. I know what he's doing. And no, he does not have humanity's best interest in heart. No, quite the opposite, my friends. Quite the opposite. And it saddens me. It appalls me to see how so many people within the so-called truth community, the awake and aware community, whatever you want to call it, it's not a community, it's a bunch of people on different levels of consciousness with different experiences, different perceptions, different programming and scripts running in their head, trying to figure out what is going on in this world. It's not a community. But it disheartens me to see so many people who've come such a long way in discovering, removing the curtain and seeing who is the master puppeteer pulling the strings. We spent years dissecting conspiracies, going down rabbit holes, looking at how these dark occultists, the Illuminati, are putting themselves in positions of power, and they've been doing this for thousands of years, interbreeding with one another, sequestering information and giving humanity this bullshit, convincing us that this physical reality is the way that it is when it's so much more complex and so much more beautiful. It is ridiculous to see you come so far only to throw it all away by following Donald Trump or to follow politics in general. You're falling into a trap. You've already fallen into a trap. But you know what? I'm just going to just lay it out there right now so there's no confusion. We are in the end times. Oh, yes, we are. I know, people are tired of hearing that, but, we kind of are right now. So, and Donald Trump, he is playing his role flawlessly. He's doing exactly what he is supposed to do. We are in the process on planet Earth, after thousands of years of prophecies building up to where we are right now, the wheat is being separated from the chaff. So I'm not going to speak publicly about everything that I know. And you want to know what the main reason is? The main reason is because every single person at this point in time, where humanity is, needs to make a choice. This is part of the spiritual framework of the universe. This is part of God's will. Every soul needs to make a choice. Are you going to take the route of destruction, of evil, corruption, lies, deceit, division, stupidity, ignorance? Or are you going to choose the path where we honor Mother Earth, Gaia Sophia? There are only two paths you can take. And only those people who choose Mother Earth with all of their heart and soul and reject this matrix, reject this trap that they're laying out, only those people are going to go and move on and go to the next world. And yes, I do know what that is going to look like. Full confidence. 100% confidence. I know what will be happening. I don't know all the details and exactly when it's going to play out, but I most certainly know, and I am going to be a part of this. So let me ask you this. Are you going to be a part of this gathering? This spiritual gathering? I could just go on and on about this subject, how ridiculously stupid people are following Donald Trump or following politics in general. You know, we all have to be a part of this world, myself included. We're doing the best we can. You know, we all have to use money and be a part of the system at least a little bit. But at least you can remove your energy from this madness. So Donald Trump is laying out a path for you that's going to lead to a very bad ending. And let it be known and recorded, there was somebody here giving you a proper warning. And when you go and follow Donald, he's not done yet, by the way. He is going to be coming back. And you can see what he is doing, dividing all of humanity. So when you go down that path and you see what's on the other end and you realize it's too late, then you'll remember. And you'll have to face, as a soul, you will have to face yourself. This isn't going to be God judging you. This is going to be you judging yourself and this foolishness you took part in this physical realm as an ego. And you're going to have to live with that, and you're going to have to go off in the universe and work off your karma after having a very terrible ending, because this world is collapsing. I'm not going to mince words here. This world has to collapse. It has to. It has to. It is divine will. Because humanity, for thousands of years, we've been given chances with spiritual beings incarnating into this world, trying to uplift human consciousness and show humanity a different path, but people wouldn't listen. So now, here we are at the harvest. And the only way for this to end now, because we didn't collectively make a better world, is for this world to be wiped out. Gone. And for those who are faithful to Mother Earth, we will go to the next world. Exodus 2.0. I'm not going to go into details about that, by the way. Not publicly like this. No. But if you resonate with what I'm saying and you can feel my heart and my love for Mother Earth and all of humanity, all the living beings in this world, I hold all life to be sacred, then you can support me in other ways, and I can share more details privately. But I'm not just going to broadcast this publicly, but just let it be known. I'm giving you a warning. I'm letting you know. I know him personally. Personally. It's not speculation. Make of that what you will. I've done my part by putting it out there. And the best thing any person can do right now is we get ready to go and create a beautiful world in harmony with Mother. You have to strengthen your connection to Source, to the divine, to God. You have to. We are nothing without Spirit. So that is a long introduction in this. We got to get on to the... I could go on and on about this, and I can. But let's move on with this show. I gave you a warning. So let's get on with the show and dissect how this is going to play out and what is going on through the three perspectives: natural law, altruism, and traditional ecological knowledge. So let's go on to perspective number one. Perspective number one is natural law. All right. Okay. Perspective number one is natural law. What is natural law? Well, natural law is a body of non-man-made, binding, all-pervading, immutable, universal spiritual laws which govern the dynamics of consciousness and the consequences of behavior for beings who are capable of understanding the difference between right and wrong. All right, natural law, spiritual law, God's law. These laws are a part of the natural universe, and they govern the consequences of our behavior. What we put out into the universe reflects back. Part of these laws is karma, cause and effect. All right? When you live in harmony with the planet, when you live in harmony with members of your own race, the universe is going to look at that and reflect back what we are giving it. It's going to give us harmonious energy, healing energy, creative energy. All right, so let's look into some other aspects of natural law here. Let's look at this chart. So looking at this chart here, now that is just a brief synopsis of what natural law is. It's actually quite simple, but people have trouble understanding this for some reason because they're so entrenched in the matrix. Look at these two bars here. You have green and you have red. Positive energy, negative energy. These are two polarities within the universe. All right? Love and fear is the overarching energy that is embedded within the universe. Yin and yang. All right? So love leads to knowledge, the acceptance of truth, no matter how scary it is. You have to accept the truth. Otherwise, you're accepting lies by ignoring it. And that comes out of fear. So love leads to knowledge. Knowledge leads to sovereignty. I own my body and mind. You own your body and mind. This leads to freedom. Freedom leads to overall order in our world. Order within ourselves and order as a reflection of ourselves into the outer world. Fear, look at the red diagram here. Fear leads to ignorance, which leads to confusion, contradictions within yourself, your brain patterns, your consciousness. This leads to control. There are people in this world who take advantage of those who do not understand universal laws and align themselves to the inner workings of the universe. And that is what is happening. This control ultimately leads to chaos in the world. You think that anarchy is chaos? Anarchy simply means no rulers or no masters. It doesn't mean no rules. We have a world of chaos. People operating on different levels of consciousness and spiritual awareness, different religions, languages, nations, all the rest of it. People are not understanding this. And this is the most important thing any person can know. All right. So all right. How does natural law pertain to this topic of Donald Trump being the master of deception? Notice how I say master of deception. Can you think of any being, any entity who holds the title of master of deception? I'm not going to use the name, but you know what I'm talking about. Look into my eyes and know what I'm talking about. All right. Now, I know a lot of you are in the truth community are getting excited. You think that Donald Trump is a savior. He's shaking up the system. And I know we all want to be shaken up. We want people to wake up. But having a savior is not the answer. You cannot change this system through government. Government is inherently evil. You cannot change this system. You cannot alter this system in any way because it has a foundation that is built on competition, arrogance, dog eat dog mentality, selfishness, callousness, ego worship. You cannot do anything to make this system better when it has this foundation. You need to build a new foundation based on natural law, altruism, and traditional ecological knowledge. And we're going to get into those as well. That has to be the foundation for us to create a better world. There's nothing you can do. And let me tell you this. There are going to be no mass arrests. There's going to be no revolution. And there is going to be no massive spiritual awakening on this planet. There's not. I'm sorry to tell you this. That doesn't mean things are hopeless, though. I just told you earlier, we are going to go and create a beautiful world. But this world has to collapse first. But we are going to have divine protection. But it has to collapse first. And you need to get your own inner world in order first, in order to receive divine information to show you what this path is. Because it's there. You have to raise your frequency and find that inner balance, your tuning fork, and connect with Mother. Now, I truly understand your perspective, but you're running scripts in your head. Whether you're a Democrat or Republican, you're running these same scripts. It's like you're cut out of the same mold. Do you not see this? I understand all the Democrats are evil, that they're rolling out all these horrible agendas. I understand that, and I agree. But people on the right are just as corrupt, imbalanced, stupid. It's both sides. You know, if you've come across this video, you're aware that there's a conglomerate of people controlling this world, bloodlines. And they're psychopaths by nature. And they're pedophiles. We know this. But it's not just Democrats. They've infiltrated every aspect of this world, pretending to fight one another, because that is how they work. That is how dark forces work. And dark forces are ultimately controlling this world. You need to understand this. You need to understand what a cult is. The occult just means hidden. These are dark occultists. They use hidden knowledge against the masses who are ignorant to this knowledge. And they're Republicans, Democrats, Freemasons, but they're everywhere. They own the media, the education system, the agricultural system, the pharmaceutical system, everything. And they're dumbing people down, leading us to where we are now. I don't need to go into detail about this because if you're watching this video, you should already know this. All right? Now, I understand that conservative mentality. Absolutely. Absolutely. But understand that Donald Trump is dividing people. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to do. This is what he does. He divides so they can conquer. You need to have a holistic mentality. All right? Of course, there are conservative values that we need. But we also need to take care of every person on this planet because we're living as a part of a society. As long as it's voluntary. Taxes are theft. Government is slavery. All right? I mean, I don't know how much detail I need to go into about this. Because I don't know my audience. What is your level of consciousness? How much knowledge do you know about what is happening in this world? If you have no idea what I'm talking about here, what the fuck are you doing? At a basic level, you should be able to see this. This is obvious. And that is why this is going to happen to humanity, because all the beings outside of this realm and outside of this planet are looking at humanity like they're not even sentient. They are getting exactly what is going to come to them. But at least there are some people here in this earthly realm who do have a strong connection with Mother, and they're doing the best that they can in this matrix. And they recognize that, and that's why we're going to go and create a beautiful world. I'm not talking out of my ass here. I have opinions like everyone else, sure, and I have my own takes. But I'm not coming from a point of speculation and theorizing anymore when it comes to these big things. And those of you who want to support me, if you could show me that you love Mother, I will share more details privately. So going back to natural law here. This is not the answer. All right? When you give all of your faith into one person to change the world within the confines of government, then you're just leading yourself towards disaster. That is not in alignment with natural law. All right? Hopefully you understand this. I don't know how much more detail I need to go into this. Let's get into the virtue of the day. All right, the virtue of the day is discernment. Discernment is derived from the Latin words discernere. Excuse me, I pronounced that incorrectly. Discernere, which means to separate, distinguish, and it comes from the Latin word mens, which means mind. So, discernment means keenness of intellectual perception, insight, acuteness of judgment. Do you have discernment? Can you sift the truth from the lies? Can you see past the scripts that they are running and giving to people? Oh, it's the radical left. It's the radical right. Look at this. Look at that. They're communists. They're evil. They're pushing this. They know exactly what they're doing. You need to use and exercise discernment in all ways. That includes when you listen and watch me. Use discernment. I can't make you understand what I'm saying, or I can't make you believe what I'm saying, and I don't want to. You know, of course, you gotta throw in the go do your own research and all that. Yeah, of course, go figure it out. For all of you who have come this far and you could see past these lies, I welcome you as a friend and as a brother. And together, we're going to go and create a beautiful world. Now, if you're on the edge, maybe like you were hoping Donald Trump would be somebody who would shake up the system, who would round up all these psychopath, satanic pedophiles, but you're just not sure if this is true or not. I hope that being here is going to help you restore your love and support for Mother. Nothing is going to save this world, folks. Nothing. You cannot save this world by operating from a foundation of corruption. You can't. So let's move on. We're going to go on to perspective number 2. Perspective number 2 is altruism. And what is altruism? I will show you. So, altruism is the unselfish concern for other people, doing things simply out of a desire to help, not because you feel obligated to out of duty, loyalty, or religious reasons. All right. I am running slow today. I'm sorry. There we go. I'm getting so fired up here. Altruism. Doing things without expecting things in return. This is how we're supposed to be living on this planet, because this is ultimately the essence of Mother. Do you know Mother Earth? Do you know her? If not, then what are you doing here? What are you doing on this planet? If you don't know that our planet has a spirit that gives birth to all life and that all life is interconnected, what are you doing on this planet? You can't feel her. All right? So let's look at altruism from a deeper perspective here. So let's take a look at this chart. So this chart is all about symbiosis. Symbiosis is any type of a close and long-term biological interaction between two different biological organisms. Excuse me. All right. When I talk about symbiosis, this is objective. This is not subjective. This pertains to how organisms interact with one another in any given ecosystem or environment. I'm not talking about food. I'm not talking about predation, carnivores, herbivores. I'm talking about the overall behaviors involved with the various interactions, all right? How we behave with one another. Because what happens within nature in any given ecosystem, we are also a part of. We are just operating from a higher level of consciousness. We are more connected to the divine nature of the universe. We're able to receive more information. All right, we can perceive and understand the difference between right and wrong. Animals cannot. Doesn't mean we're necessarily more intelligent. It just means that we operate on a higher level of consciousness. So let's go back to this chart here. These are the different types of symbiosis. You have parasitism. Look on the left. Parasitism is on top. That is when one organism benefits, the other is harmed, such as ticks or mosquitoes. Next, you have commensalism. One organism benefits, the other is neither benefited nor harmed, such as spider webs on plants, barnacles, and whales. All right, they're just there for the ride. They're not harming the whales. Next, you have mutualism, which is a relationship where both organisms benefit. Pollinators, bees and butterflies, bats, hummingbirds, clownfish, and sea anemone. All right? Stop looking at all the destructive aspects of nature. They exist, and that is one part of how nature operates. Stop paying attention to all the carnivores and all the callousness and the survival of the fittest. Look to all the better aspects of nature. They're everywhere. You have to look deeper, just like with natural law. You could measure the laws of physics, but in order to perceive natural law, to align yourself to it, you have to look deeper. You have to look deeper. The same thing with mutualism. There are organisms that help each other out. Now, this might be from a slightly selfish perspective. You know, the bee gets pollen and nectar as food. The flower, in return, gets fertilized so it can propagate the species. So they're still technically looking for something in return, right? Well, that's why there is one even more hidden aspect of symbiosis within nature we need to look at and understand. Altruism. That is the next stage of this symbiotic hierarchy. We need to crawl out from the depths of competition and harming things and go rise up into divine consciousness, which is altruism, which also can be seen within nature. So, elephants helping other elephants, birds sharing food locations, dolphins have been seen to help whales, seemingly selflessly. All right? Now look on the right side of this chart here for each of them. Under the parasitism row, the human translated motive of these interactions. For parasitism, this looks like ego worship or callousness, a satanic worldview. Commensalism, it's mooching, opportunism, me first mentality. Mutualism is all about cooperation, exchange of goods and group strength. Altruism is the highest. We express this through love, empathy, compassion, the golden rule. This is what we need to base our world off of, because people have fallen for the lie that all nature is about killing and competition, when that's only one aspect of nature, one aspect of the whole universe. Remember from the beginning of the show, we have light and dark, two polarities, love and fear. There's an entity in this universe who is the source of all fear. And yes, he is in the flesh in this world. Oh, you can bet on it. And his aspects embedded with nature are all of that callousness. But Mother, her aspects are also embedded within nature. So why are we not basing our society off of Mother? Off of helping one another, cooperation? All right? Why is this so hard for people to see this? So how does altruism ultimately pertain to the subject at hand here with Donald Trump? Well, look at the way he operates. He operates the same way most people in this world operate. I want more money. Whatever is good for me is all that I need. Screw everybody else. I love me. The me monster mentality and the arrogance that Donald Trump has. Oh man, that people support that? Oh, your primitive, polluted consciousness. To want to get behind somebody with that level of arrogance. It is disgusting. And all of the universe is looking at planet Earth right now, shaking their heads. These people in this world are not sentient. They can no longer be in this world disrespecting mother, ignoring mother. They gotta go. They gotta go. It is time. All right? We need to express ourselves in a way that is altruistic, where we don't expect things in return. All right? When you give money to somebody, you shouldn't always expect something in return. You do it because you genuinely want to help them. Do you understand what I'm saying here? All right, let's go on to look at this. What would mother wish? So many people are focused on WWJD. What would Jesus do? Well, we also need to look at what would mother wish. All right? And what would mother wish? She wants us to be happy. She wants us to explore this earthly realm. She wants us to behave in a way that respects her, that respects one another, that holds life to be sacred. All life is sacred. That is what mother wishes. She wishes us to be empowered. She wishes us to be in alignment with natural law. She ultimately wants us to get the most out of this world that we can by living in harmony. And the only way we can live in harmony is if we use discernment, get all this programming out of our heads, and we recognize that we are all brothers and sisters. We are all children of mother. We are all children of mother. All right, so now we got to look at the scale of morality. All right, where are we? Right here. The scale of morality. So look at this chart here. Where does Donald Trump and his cult following, all these Q morons, where do they fit in terms of divine alignment? With parasitism being on the left and altruism being on the right. That is where mother is. Satanic thinking is parasitism. Ego worship. You don't have to believe in a devil to be a Satanist. Satanism at its fundamental level is ego worship. What's good for me is all that matters. Screw everybody else. All right? So, we're going to take this symbol here and place it on this scale. So, where is Donald Trump and his cult followers on this chart? You might be a little surprised by this. I'm going to put it about right here. I'm not going to put it all the way down here. I'm going to put it about right here. And let me tell you why. I'm going to put it in the commensalism category, almost mutualism in some regards. But the person that you're following is all the way here. In fact, I'm going to put it right here. All right? But your motives, the follower of him, I know deep down you're operating somewhere in here. But you don't know that you are supporting this. So the average follower, somebody who might call them conservative, or you understand the whole liberal agenda and all that, All right, you want to live in a world where you have the right to make a living the way that you want to. You understand the importance of conservative values. Great. Absolutely great. All right, and you understand that, the free market system gives us the most freedom. It allows us to make a living. We can exchange goods and services, so we're benefiting one another, right? And I understand and accept this. And that is why I will put you further up the scale with your intentions. But because of your stupidity, your lack of discernment, you are supporting unconsciously. I'll give you that. It's unconsciously. You are supporting the satanic worldview. Yes, you are. But you know what? The universe doesn't care either way. The universe looks at what we are doing consciously and unconsciously, whether we know it or not, and it is reflecting back to us what we are choosing. So the universe sees you, the Trump supporter, sees you unconsciously, blindly following this agenda to lead you to the slaughter. So you deserve to get exactly what is coming. It doesn't mean the universe doesn't care. The divine, they want us to overcome this, but we have the free will to make choices. Get out of this left and right programming. This is exactly what they're trying to do. And they're playing you. And I don't even care, because I'm going to the next world. You're welcome to come with me if you can respect and love Mother. I know I'm going to be fine. 100% I'm going to be fine. While this world is collapsing, I'm going over there and I'm creating a different world operating on a different frequency. And I'm going to be protected. All right, moving on. Let's go to perspective number 3. What is perspective number 3? Perspective number 3 is traditional ecological knowledge. All right. Traditional ecological knowledge is a cumulative body of knowledge and beliefs handed down through generations by cultural transmission about the relationship of living beings with one another and with their environment. These are gained through the teaching of family history and cultural values. So traditional ecological knowledge comes from our indigenous brothers and sisters, right? How we interact with the world, what we can learn from the world for our spiritual evolution, for how the way we structure our society. This is involved with storytelling, looking at animals as symbols and totems, looking at ways for nature to heal us and to restore us to a natural state of balance, right? So, how can entheogens and plant medicine positively shape our perceptions? This is an important aspect of traditional ecological knowledge, whether it's ayahuasca, psilocybin mushrooms, DMT. These plant medicines and fungi medicines are there for a reason. They are imbued with divine essence. So when we imbibe them, divine beings like Mother can come through, and we use our heart as a channel so they can teach us things to better ourselves, to improve and expand upon our perspectives, to help us heal, to help us find more creativity. All right? So in this particular case, how can entheogens help the whole Donald Trump and his supporters situation. Well, I guarantee you, if Donald Trump supporters, for the most part, are too conservative and too locked into their stubborn ass mentality to even understand how cannabis is actually a very positive, beneficial thing for the human race. Imagine if these sorts of people took, ate psilocybin mushrooms or fused themselves with ayahuasca. Because if you're super ultra conservative and you're locked into this stubborn ass mentality, just stagnant in your evolution, what would happen is if you treat it with respect and you have the humility to understand that you could be wrong, that you can expand your perspectives, you would see that we are all one. We are all brothers and sisters. And that you have been foolish to follow the things that you have been following and engaging in. I don't even think I could get through to this stubborn mentality. So I'm sitting here thinking, how can I even keep going when people on the right and the left are so stubborn and locked in their mentality, they don't understand this? Why do I even need to talk about this? I don't even really want to do this. I'm going to the next world. I'm here for Mother Earth warriors who can already see these things. I don't even want to teach these things. I don't know why I have to, because this is common sense. When you're connected with Mother. Let's keep going here. Here's another thing conservatives will get upset at. How would an intentional community or eco-village create harmony? So if you are right-leaning in any way and you hear the word intentional community and you understand a little bit of what they're about, you're going to start thinking I'm a communist or something like that. Don't mince my words. That is not what intentional communities are all about. I understand natural law. That we need to voluntarily give our resources and our energy to people rather than it being stolen from us through coercion. All right, but we can still create a world where we create things like these images you've seen that are in tune with the earth. We can share gardens together. We can have elements of socialism as long as it's voluntary to make sure every human being has access to food and health, education. That is human decency to make sure every person has those things. That is a human right. When you are living in a society, it becomes a human right when you live in such abundance, especially when you have technology, to take care of every human being. And you know what? To help you understand this with your stubborn-ass mindset, if you are so on the right, the more educated people are, the healthier they are, the less stressed out they are from having to worry about bills and all that, the more they can contribute to the world. The more the more better decisions they can make in the world to make it a better place. Unhealthy, uneducated people make bad decisions. And when you're stressed out, you make even more bad decisions. Even you can understand this very basic principle with your stubborn-ass mentality. And you have the audacity, most of you on the right, to call yourselves Christians. You think Christ supports your stubborn-ass mentality? He never wanted governments and religion. We're going to get to that right now, in fact. Let's get on to the next part here. All right. Well, first off, when it comes to Donald Trump and his supporters, well, let's just look at Donald Trump here. When it comes to animals, we can look as a reflection of Donald Trump and who he is and what he's doing. We have no better symbol than the coyote. All right? With indigenous cultures, specifically certain American Indian peoples, I can't speak on their behalf, and I don't intend to, but the coyote is a symbol, an archetype, a universal archetype in a way, of the trickster. Because you have to look at a coyote, the way it behaves in the wild. All right? They're very cunning. They're very good at sneaking up. They're very good at hiding. They're predatory. That is Donald Trump, because what he is doing, truly doing, is he is tricking you. He's fooling you, and he's luring you into a trap. And if you can't see it, you know what I have to say? Good riddance. You're going to get exactly what's coming to you. Somebody was here to give you a warning when you shouldn't even have to, because it's common sense. And you're going to have to face yourself and your decisions in this earthly realm when you get out of here. All right, so let's look at this. Let's look at this diagram. The Holy Trinity. Look in the center. The Holy Trinity is made up of the mind, body, spirit. Otherwise, thoughts, emotions, and actions. All right, you can think of it as the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This is the Holy Trinity that is embedded within the fabric of the universe. We are all connected to the Holy Trinity. And when you have your thoughts, emotions, and actions in sync with one another, you can truly use your creative force to manifest a world. Now, if you look on the right, Mother's Trinity in this earthly realm manifests as natural law, traditional ecological knowledge, and altruism. All right, natural law, divine virtues comes from God, from the Father, if you will. Altruism comes from Mother. That's the Holy Spirit. It comes from our heart. Traditional ecological knowledge is in sync with Christ. That is our body, our actions, how we maneuver ourselves in the world. This is the Trinity that we need to align ourselves to, right? Now, on the left-hand side, you have the unholy Trinity, which is government, money, and religion. Let me tell you here, folks. Government, religion, and money is the unholy trinity. This isn't subjective. It's not an opinion. These three things were brought to this planet to enslave the human race by forces that you don't understand. Way beyond your level of perception and your primitive kindergarten level understanding. All right? Government controls the mind. It controls how people think and act, what they do, how they, everything. It controls every aspect of your life. That is taking the place of God. Religion was brought to this world to divide the human race, give them all these ridiculous dogmas and have them fight one another, not realizing we all have one God. We are all brothers and sisters, children of the exact same God. And religion defecates on the Holy Spirit. It makes a mockery of our beautiful, beloved mother. Because although it might be, there are some aspect, all religions have truths in them, sure, but at their fundamental core, they're there to divide people and create an intermediary between you and God, when we all have that direct connection as it is. But religions have been created to filter out that divine information, to put a dark cloud between us and God, have someone else tell us what to think and feel, encouraging us to support government. All right? And money was brought to this world to keep people in a constant state of fear and anxiety, to be stressed out all the time, to not be altruistic, but to behave in a way where we have to constantly get more things for ourselves at the expense of other people. There's no way you can make money a better system in this world. It needs to go all together. If human beings cannot live with one another in self-governance, having a holistic spiritual understanding with no money where we genuinely take care of one another, if we can't live that way, we don't deserve to be here. We don't deserve to be on this planet. And we finally reached the end point of this harvest where we all are going to reap what we sow. In the next world, these three concepts are not going to exist because all of them together, government, religion, and money, bind humanity to this matrix and keep us locked in with these tentacles wrapping around us and sucking our energy, dividing us and conquering us. And where does Donald Trump sit? Take a guess. Take a guess. That's where he is, the unholy trinity. Notice how he has a red tie, folks. There's a secret to the color red. Do I need to expand upon that, or can you get it? I make no apology for talking the way that I am, because you should know this. If you don't know this, or if you don't have the humility to admit that you've been wrong, you've been deceived, I don't care. I don't want you here. You're not welcome in the next world. Donald Trump is the epitome of government, religion, and money. Wholeheartedly supports government. Totally supports the elitist mentality. Has this fake-ass Christian religion. Who doesn't know who Christ actually was and how he operates and lives within us, and we all have the ability to be like him. And money? Do I need to emphasize that part? He is the living embodiment of the unholy trinity. If you do not see this, what are you doing? Wake up. I have no patience. I will not pander to primitive, polluted consciousness. You're not welcome here. Your time in this world is very much dwindling. And I can't wait for you kindergarten level primitive morons to get out of the physical plane so you could finally see how stupid you've been. I don't care if I offend you. You have to have the humility to admit you've been wrong. And if you can do that, I will welcome you with open arms and a warm heart, welcome you as a friend and a brother, and we can move on from this. And I won't even judge you. I'm not going to even judge you. If you have the ability to move on from these scripts going on in your head, I'm not going to judge you from your past. Just like I hope you wouldn't judge me for my past, for things that I've gotten wrong in my life before and things that I've done. Anyway, that's it, folks. It's a heated topic, but this is the last time I'm going to talk about this. I'm always going to refer people to this episode to understand what is playing out here. And I gave you a warning. You can either heed it or ignore it. I don't care either way, because I'm going to the next world and it's going to be beautiful. We're going to live in alignment with natural law. We're going to live altruistically. And we are going to be connected to the earth in a way where we understand how the symbols play out and how we can use these symbols to further our spiritual evolution. It's going to be beautiful. Speaking of beautiful, let's move on to the second part of the show, shall we? The second part of the show is much more lighthearted. If you've gotten this far, awesome. I'm going to show you some things to hopefully restore your faith in humanity now. So let's take a look over here. Here's an article by the Good News Network. It's called Police Officer Pulls Man from Wheelchair Stuck on Tracks Within Seconds of Speeding Train. Now, I'm an anarchist. I don't support the existence of police. In an ideal world, don't mince my words. I'm talking about the cult of the police. The gang. All right, that people are following. We shouldn't need police officers. We shouldn't need any form of authority in the world. We need to learn the art of self-governance. But either way, the person who's wearing the mask of police officer did something awesome, and it is commendable. So let's read this. In California, last week, this was actually last year, but it's still pretty awesome. Became a hero when she pulled a man stuck in his wheelchair from tracks within seconds of a train barreling past. Officer Erica Youre jumped out of her patrol car when she saw what was about to happen. The railroad crossing arms were coming down. A train was approaching. She ran over and, after the wheelchair wouldn't budge, pulled the anonymous man from his chair. They both fell back onto the ground and were safe just moments before they would have been hit. The man, 66, suffered a leg injury, but he was immediately tended to. So let's take a look at this video. I thought it was pretty amazing.
One. I'll be out with the bell stack on the tracks trying to get him out. Go on, can you get up? Get up.
Got him.
One out of one. I need an ambulance now.
Pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing, folks. That is commendable. I think that's pretty amazing. There's still people doing good things. And if you are ever in a position where you can help somebody, do it. Don't wait for somebody else to do it. Try not to operate under the energy of fear. I think that's wonderful. That is inspiring. There's still good people doing good things. Let's take a look at this story right here of a human helping an animal. So this article is called Watch Fishermen Risk Walking on Frozen Lake to Rescue Exhausted Baby Deer. Two men were out And this was earlier this year, January 12th, 2021. Two men were out on a winter's fishing day. There we go. When they happened on a frantic baby deer that was trapped on a frozen lake. From there, a daring ice rescue began. Branson Jackson and his friends saw the fawn trying and failing to stand on the slippery surface of Utah's Panguitch Lake. Jackson said to his pal, "Dude, that's a deer. We gotta go save it, of course." So let's watch this video here.
Well, on today's adventure, we are going to try to help this little fawn stuck on the ice. We're out here rescuing cute little fawns on about an inch or two of ice. Poor little guy was stuck out there a little ways. Oh! Get the release.
There it goes. Pretty awesome. Stop focusing on all the bad things going on in the world. Even through my the way that I talked about this particular subject on this show, you know, I still look to see the good in all of this world. Even though I do not like the choices of most of my fellow human beings, I don't like the programming that they still have in their heads, I still see the beauty in every single person and their capability of doing good things. So I want to emphasize that. Now let's take a look at a couple more things here. So here is a bamboo meditation center. Give me one moment. Overlooks sunset views in Chiang Mai. I thought this was a really cool organic architecture. One moment here. All right. Locally sourced bamboo and adobe bricks make up this new meditation cathedral and sunset sala, a cluster of organically shaped buildings on top of a hill in northern Chiang Mai. I most assuredly have gotten that wrong. It is a net zero carbon project that provides a client with a space to enjoy the sunset with loved ones, as well as a meditation cathedral for the Buddhist community. I think it looks really awesome. It's beautiful. The design of all buildings emulates the mountain range and the rolling hills, said the architects, who constructed the project with adobe walls and bamboo roofs. Thus, the buildings mold into the scenery as if they grew there themselves. That is so cool. So bamboo is a sustainable material that we need to start using more. And I especially like how organic architecture melds with the environment around us than our current modern construction, where everything is linear, everything is square, and it's just not in sync with the earth. So I thought that is awesome. And we have one more thing I want to look at before we go here. Yizo is a nature retreat perched on a Japanese hillside. I thought this looked cool too, very similarly. This design concept comes from a Hong Kong-based laboratory for explorative architecture and design. It is designed with a spot in the northern mountain range of Ecological, Japan in mind. The idea spawned from a request from private clients who were looking for a private retreat on a spectacular site. Anyway, I just think it looks really cool. I just like how it melds with the hillside here and it looks organic in structure. Anyway, I think that is necessary to close out this show, to show you some good things. Anyway, if you made it this far, I thank you for being here. I hope you understand why I'm so upset the way that I am. Don't mince my words. I'm not on the right. I'm not on the left. I don't believe in the validity of government at all. I am here from Mother Earth, and she is the center of my entire world. I love Mother more than anything else. And I love every single human soul in this world. I don't like their stubbornness. I don't like their ignorance. I don't like their choices. But I truly love every single soul. And if you're falling for Donald Trump and what he's doing, then I have nothing else to say to you. Because I've done my part. I don't even want you watching this video if you support Donald Trump in any way. Or Joe Biden. I don't want you. I want Mother Earth warriors. Are you a Mother Earth warrior? If you are a Mother Earth warrior, my heart goes out to you. I welcome you into this community. And I want you to know I love you very much and you're beautiful just the way that you are. So with all that being said, I don't think there's anything else I want to say in this particular subject. Maybe privately. But I'm going to close out this show now. I thank you all so much for being here. Remember, at any time, you can go to unitingandbound.show. You can submit a topic if you have something that you would like me to talk about here on the show. And I gladly welcome it as long as it's within reason. And I will see you on the next show. I pressed the wrong button.